Okay, we're in the finals. As you can hear those beeps, the countdown has already begun. Let's just hop to the game screen. First map going down on Odyssey here in the best of 5. Of course, quick recap and prize money is $100 to the winner of this match and $50 to the loser as we've reached the grand finals for the Olimoleague. Spawning here in the upper left side, it's going to be the blue Zerg player Rogue.
In the bottom right, as the pink Protoss, he's Zest.
I have to be back just one moment.
Okay. So I was giving Zest a lot of credit in the previous matches, and I ended up being correct both times. But I don't know about the finals. Rogue, I also gave a lot of credit to in his matches. Pretty correct on that. And to see them both in the finals is... I kind of predicted it, but I was like a little bit worried that this wasn't going to show up today. I'm still like a little bit worried. He'll always like almost regress back to what he was 6 months ago, but he seemed to be consistently in form. So I wouldn't say I'm not surprised to see these guys in the finals. They did well only like 10 hours ago in another Korean tournament with Ballistics Brawl. And I think Zest ended up taking that against Innovation 3-1 by also beating Rogue 3-2 in the semifinals. Quite the back and forth best of 5. So Rogue is looking for that revenge, I'm sure. He ended up tapping out of that last game, game number 5, really weirdly. He had taken 2 Geometry from an Oracle off of 2 bases, and he just decided to tap out.
Sorry about that. Hello.
He only lost like 7 drones, so like truly game ending, but just a bad opener. And Rogue was like, ah, I'm done. Tap out, GG. Because I ended up taking the 3-2. Hello.
Hi. Oh, so I forgot to change that to best of 5. Okay, we're totally good to go now.
Cool.
Yeah, Rogue, man, I am like, oh, there's bias against Zest. Whatever. Don't listen to Rifkin talking about that. I'm just so pumped for Rogue. Like, it's not about the negativity of one player, which, by the way, there is none. Zest is playing very well today. But I'm just so hyped for this because I am such... Like, I've just been watching Rogue beat my heroes today, right? Kills Gumio, not a problem. Now against us in the finals, like, Rogue has never been a bad player. Rogue's never been a B-list Zerg player that you don't think about, but he is just super extra on fire lately.
Well, I just got done talking to stream about how Rogue did lose to Zest 3-2 just like 10 hours ago. No,
don't tell me this!
What? It's setting up a dramatic storyline. He barely lost, and a lot of that had to do with the fact that he gave up that 5th game really easily.
That was for Ballistics Gaming, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he's like, I don't give a shit about this crappy 2-bit tournament. I'm gonna set up a story so my win in the Olimoleague, the prestigious Olimoleague, is even better and more epic.
I mean, the tournament has double the prize pool, but the prestige certainly goes to the Olimoleague.
2-bit nothing RAM company here for like a second. Who cares? Whatever. I actually don't have any ill will towards them guys. We're just making some funs. But okay, telling me that he lost earlier breaks my heart to hear. But if Zest is playing that well that he could beat Rogue twice in a 12-hour time period, like, then that's gonna restore a lot of my faith in Zest, to be honest.
My faith is already pretty restored. He'll still have his off days, I'm sure, just as he did a year ago, but it just seems not like not nearly comparable to what it was just every day. A questionable decision, a questionable macro mistake that was Zest. Now he's back to form. So Rogue, Zest, kind of a clash of titans in the finals. Again, these guys not really making the biggest names. I think the biggest names would probably be, I don't know, Innovation versus Dark, probably.
Ugh. I've never been on the Dark hype train, man.
Neither have I. He doesn't show up enough tournaments for me to be like, these guys so consistently good, but any tournament he does show up in, it's always like, well, Dark knows how to do stuff. So,
it's like,
you know.
Cool, you showed up to BlizzCon, one tournament, big deal.
You showed up as a runner-up, though. I mean, who cares?
I know, right? Like, can't even win the one tournament he goes to. Who cares about that guy?
What a loser. Oh, man. But no, I think this is actually one of the best like matchups we'll see in these next coming weeks. I hope it kind of turns into a rivalry. That would be pretty awesome.
That would be super cool. You know, the thing is, the Korean scene is so tight-knit already. The fact is, like, there's just a better chance for real rivalries to emerge here than anywhere else.
I think you got the top Terran, top Zerg, and top Protoss almost now playing. Zest can't prove himself as a top Protoss because he keeps on losing and already out of so many individual leagues, but online is doing quite well.
Well, it's funny because that didn't used to be the case for Zest. He was actually the opposite, right? Like offline Zest was the sickest player of hype, and then online it was like Maru. Like, who cares? You played your 3 racks poorly and lost in like every online cup we cast.
Yeah, Maru's been, I mean, we talk a lot about Zest because Zest kept playing in tournaments, so we always kept mentioning that he wasn't doing very well. Maru's just always been a disappointment for us personally online, and then it has been in the last year. He's been zapped all his strength, gave it to the other Terrans. I don't know. He's no longer a horseman. I would say that much pretty confidently. He hasn't won against very notable players in a while. He's demoted to stable boy. He's the pony, like a miniature pony off to the side.
Squire, attend me, says Gumiho to Maru.
Nah, really, just not as... I used to love Maru too. I mean, I still love his style, which isn't it's not working, you know, it's not the magic touch. He's not here though. So
the real Maru is Masa nowadays. Hey,
that's true. You should stop saying he wants to be like Maru. He is Maru.
And just accept that you've become your father.
So much more important to talk about. Zest has an attack seemingly being built up here.
This is pretty quick storm coming up behind this.
Right, so he's not with a second Warp Prism. He's not truly committing to this because he's done all-in versions and just absolutely been manhandled with it too. But it is something he is attacking on the front lines with, so he wants to do damage.
Lings are choosing to just kind of be non-combatant here, and that's fine. Not really running across the map for run-bys, and I think he knows he can't do that either, what with the Revelation on him. But while Storm is completing soon-ish, there's no Templar gathering energy right now.
He is focusing entirely on this push, and if he had a better plan of attack, because he kind of just went into the middle of the map here and then decided to go
he just went forward.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like he might have had a snowball opportunity. There weren't any Banelings, and the Hydras were still in a growing number, but now it's good enough, I think, that he can't do that, so he's just going to back off and go back home, which is an okay option. I thought he'd be a little more punctual with that attack.
Yo, wait, what? This is the first game of the series, right?
Yeah.
Okay, someone's like, don't forget to update the score. I'm like, what? I'm pretty sure it's 0-0, but now I'm not sure. Second guessing myself. Feeling like I'm taking crazy pills, but okay, so really, like, nothing of any value or importance has happened so far. But I guess things are about to get spicy now that we finally have those storms warped in and the Hydras haven't been made.
Well, we are going to get to that typical PvZ point. You know, Rogue has gone Hydroling, Baneling, just held off on the Banelings, and this is going to be positioning soon.
This is actually really cool, by the way. I like that he left the Zealots up here. It's a bit risky, but he doesn't have Warpins and Pylons for second angles of attacks, so he focuses everything down here to the south and draws the army, say towards the 4th base, which is the gold. These Zealots will have the freedom to walk into the natural unaccosted.
Yeah. Leaving them there, realizing there's no Overlord seeing them.
It is essentially a Warpin that he's pre-invested into.
Yep. So Zest gets a 4th base. It seems like he will be able to get that up and running because Rogue still hasn't really positioned himself in anything too scary. But Rogue is not going up to a hive. He is not added on an infestation pit. There should be a Ling Baneling Hydra attack, just not really sure as to where. He's kind of all over the place right now looking for those potential counters that could ruin his life, I guess. Ooh. He did commit. Oh,
almost catches the Warp Prism. Will catch the Warp Prism?
So close. So he just made a huge run of Lings. He's already at 72 drones. And he adds Infestation Pit and a couple more drones. Yeah, Bane drops. Only from one side?
Yeah, only from one side. I thought that Overlord at the top was going to be another one, but Zealots do get caught. Unfortunately, Zest will not have that sweet attack set up for later. Cannons are down. Mothership Core pops the overcharges, and these banelings are shut down. But this was like...
Beautiful.
That was pretty close to getting in there. With +2 weapon upgrades too, it's one shot to kill the probe now, not two.
Rogue is making about 30 banelings, but he's still not really in an attacking position. There goes the Hive. Zest, I guess, feeling like, okay, the attack hasn't come. I guess I'm okay against that potential bust. Adds on a Stargate and a Fleet Beacon. And then runs to the middle of the map with all those high tempos, all the storm. Come on, man. What?
We're trying to sing your praises here, Zest.
That was just terrible. That could be game ending. Was that all the storms?
That was a phenomenal mistake. That's gonna there's a couple on the backside, but even then, that was a phenomenal mistake.
That was super questionable. Why was he there? Wait. Right, that is the second time I've seen Zest do that on Odyssey.
That's the thing where, by the way, I really like when I'm talking Rogue up. He doesn't do things like that. He doesn't pressure in locations that don't require pressure. He's not in the middle of the map for no reason. Zest is a great player mechanically, and his micro is good, but then he makes poor decisions like that. And you're just like, well, what was the point of that? You weren't getting into a position for anything. You weren't defending an attack. You weren't posturing. Like,
and those are the types of decisions that were just instantly losing him games after. The macro was also really bad. Just the lines of Zest not being as good as he was. But one bad decision does not end the game anymore.
Oh, no, but it almost did. It felt like if it wasn't for those 2 extra Templar.
I think it actually does 6 months ago too. But he had those backup storms, and he had enough Archons to hold on. So it's actually maybe okay if he can take an okay trade here. The storms went on all those banelings. A lot of the Archons and Immortals live, and that did end up going about as well as Zest was hoping for. Only lost a Gateway and had to morph in the rest of the High Templars.
Still, though, at the end of the day, Rogue is on fairly well upgraded army units, and it is Hydraling Baneling, so it's not like his composition is going to be called into question here. This is a Zerg game-winning composition. He's also on Hive Tech, so Greater Spire starts up. I would actually love to see Lurkers over Broodlords, to be honest. I'm so on this hype train from watching players do it recently over in Europe. I really like the Lurker aspect to things.
Well, it seems like it's going to be Broodlords, and Zest has already prepared for that. You know, he didn't really have an attack coming to him. In fact, he kind of forced the attack because he moved out in the middle of the map with the Templars. So he was already planning on going to Tempests. Now that he survived that little gaff, he will get the Tempests.
Oh, Millie's pro. Thank you for the resub, dude. Your passion fuels my passion. That's how I feel about the subs. Your passion fuels our passion, boys.
And girls.
And if our passion fuels your passion, but your passion fuels our passion, man, we just figured out the secret to cold fusion.
That's what I heard. I was like, what the hell is that sound? My cats.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Rifkin being brilliant, but okay, sure, your cats, that too.
What is that sound? Is it a bird? Is it a plane?
No, it's genius.
Genius.
Okay, so going back to the point of like what's happening here, I feel like Tempest's a little, like, almost too easily counter Broodlords, whereas you could argue Immortals counter Lurkers, but it just feels like, you know, Lurkers are getting a lot more done nowadays as no one is just used to dealing with them. But this is like 5+ years of dealing with Broodlords, so everyone knows what to do in this situation. We did see Abducts earlier, which are going to be cool maybe to see again, but they're not really available or ready.
Oh, I hate when I have a good point and then I almost sneeze.
Just let the sneeze go, girl. Just let it out. It's gonna feel so good.
I'm not trying to hold it. It doesn't, like, it's one of those things where it doesn't come, and I'm like, damn it. All that hype to nothing. Anyways, Dark Shrine once again on the way. That ended up being really great for his distraction of Alive last game. I feel like it never works out quite as well versus Zerg. Maybe because they already have Spine Crawlers. Maybe because they have Queens. I don't know. But that could be the distraction tactic he needs, because Zest's problem is, once again, getting to the middle of the map. That last attack was just all over the place. It was really bad, but now it should be more thought out. It's still a very wide open area that he has to worry to be surrounded on. And he hasn't really gotten to the optimal late game Protoss composition.
So, interesting question coming out of chat, by the way. CJ Link. Shout out, by the way, dude. If Zerg has +2 melee on Banes, Protoss has +1 shields, do the Banelings still one-shot the Protoss? And the answer to this is yes, because they don't barely one-shot probes with +2. They overkill by, I believe it's 3 or so. So it's like I think you'd need like +3 and then +1 plasma shields maybe to stop that from one-shotting. I don't even know.
Maybe.
It's just one of those upgrades of the game. Like it's a critical upgrade in terms of just like it does this pretty much no matter what.
Why is this becoming more of a thing, by the way? I keep seeing people say, "Don't mind taking my Rifkin for a walk." I feel like that's the only thing I've been thing recently.
You know what? I've just given up with my memes in chat. Like ever since they tried to make Rifkin drop, like I don't get it.
That was a failure, guys.
Like the Rip Point thing and stuff, I was on board with because it was funny and like, well, it was dumb. I at least understood it. Taking Rifkin for a walk, taking the Rifkin drops, like none of these actually make sense to me. So I've given up on trying to follow.
That walking thing should be on wheels if you're a mech player.
Oh, I thought you said because of my Dolly picture yesterday.
Oh yeah, for that.
Spike always buy a ton of time and actually kill the Archon, which is great, but there's still been all these Immortals to deal with. Doesn't probably want to waste Banelings on the Immortals if the Lings can get the job done, but unfortunately he's going to have to. Already lost the base for it. Doesn't want to let those Immortals get out of here. That's perhaps overkill with the Banelings, but Rogue does have some pretty good economy going for him, so he can kind of afford to do this. What I love most about this guy too is like I feel like Rogue, if he was to like put a blindfold on and not quite know what he was doing or what he's going up against, I feel his solution in every scenario was like just make 50 Banelings.
That's gonna fix everything. It's gonna work against mech. It's gonna work against Protoss. It's gonna be great.
And they'll have no idea if they were effective or not, but it'll be like, okay, let's make 50 more.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
That's just Rogue.
Yeah. So Zest, he gave away a ton of units in the bottom left, but that was intentional. Yeah, I think he would have really hoped to do more damage, however. Like, that was a lot of Immortals. But it's all done, and he has to replace the units now with bigger and better units, which I would hope to be Void Rays. In fact, he already has 7. Go.
Yeah, 3 at a time still being pumped out behind this. Oh, man, that lack of sleep is starting to hit me now. Jesus. But yeah, the Void Ray count is getting kind of to the point of out of control, where I do worry that it, like, even if you've got all these spore crawlers, they're just gonna melt. Like, you'll need fungal growth. So I'm really glad to see that he's getting not just pathogen glands, but infestors out. The Vipers are kind of whatever, because I feel like you abduct a Void Ray, it's still gonna take forever to die.
Well, yeah, depends how much he's on the ground killing it, I guess. That Nexus does go down. It was very low, so it seemed inevitable. But with the gateways, maybe he was hoping the city would work out. Nope, didn't. Zest, you know...
Oh, he does have Adrenal Glands, okay.
Not fully upgraded, but he does have a lot of the upgrades. I was gonna say, Zest isn't... Is he on that perfect army? Kind of close to it. 10 Archons, 4 Tempest, Mothership, and 4 Templars, a bunch of Void Rays. It's pretty close, but every time he goes in the middle of that map, Rogue's looking for the Abducts, he's looking for the Concave. You know, really mitigate how much damage the Storms can really do. And he is still looking to take down Zest's economy. Taking down the gold base is only one step, though. You know, Zest is actually on 6 bases with a bigger bank than Rogue.
Yo, I gotta give credit to Rogue, though. Like, this static defense he's been laying down, it's not super uncommon, but it has been saving him from so many of these run-bys. And though even the run-bys that he didn't save him from, it ends up trading really effectively thanks to it. Now, of course, he's still not exactly winning the resources lost department, but this could be so very much worse for Rogue than it has been so far.
Of course. And really even up on the bank, but Zest is contributing a lot more to air.
The games you referenced earlier, the ones I didn't see, were they these late game games, or were they more like really all-in games?
3 out of 5, I think, were these super late games. 2 were kind of wonky insta losses.
By the way, I'm gonna hang up on Discord. You should recall me. 1 second, guys. So it was just periodically going robot-y, so I'm hoping this fixes it.
Okay.
Anyways, it's cool to know that it was late games, though, so it's not like, oh, they're new to the scenario, they're new to this dance. But at the same time, then it's like, well, Rogue didn't win earlier, so maybe this isn't such a good thing still, nonetheless, for me, who's cheering for this guy. But, you know, with all this creep spread, with the Spore Crawler lines on the front, like, it's gonna be hard for Zest to really just plow through this. But man, this has been like split map at this point. There's a couple bases in the middle. This might be the first game we actually see somebody take the 3-gas base on Odyssey.
Not the first time. I've heard you say that at least once before.
What other game did that ever happen? I don't remember. I literally don't remember casting a game where someone actually took this base.
I remember because we were like making fun of how like no one remembers it's 3 gases.
I mean, I know we've brought up this point. I'm gonna say confidently, I don't think we've ever cast a game where someone took this base. Not like this, at least.
I'm fairly confident we have. I mean, I could be remembering a game that I watched, but I just remember you talking about it and me laughing about it, and there being some epic battles in the deciding game there. Because I think what it was it wasn't a split map scenario. It was a Zerg player expanded there, like in a normal game. We were like, what? Question mark? Okay, wait.
Well, regardless, we'll see whether those gases have any bearing on the game or not, because both players could still use gas at this point. No real banks being accrued. Carriers on the way, and I mean, we've seen it before a million times, right? Like, Zest is the one who's got the potentially unbeatable army, not Rogue. But if done correctly, handled well, you know, Neurals are perfect, Fungals are good, Abducts nailed it. Like, it's not like Rogue can't beat this army. But man,
we saw...
it's getting to that gross point.
It is. Like, this is looking like an unbeatable army unless it gets... Unless, really, I think Zest screws up, and I think that's going to come from a lack of scouting and a lack of revelations. But he's got an Oracle, I think, running around. We saw Rogue take out Classic in an almost unbeatable army situation just a couple series ago. But that a lot of that had to do with the fact that he was tearing down Classic's economy and building up his own so he could remax.
So this fight is going about as opposite of the Legacy of Void cinematic as possible. That one Ultra just got like 4 Archons.
Yeah, that cinematic is... It looks more epic than the Viking versus the Ultralisk, but it really was as wrong as the Viking.
It was about as dumb. You're like, why would you ever play it versus an Ultralisk, you idiot?
Yeah. I mean, if only you could tell the Archon to tear off a tusk of the Ultra. If only that was an option.
Actually, speaking of options, I'm surprised we haven't seen Rogue go for like a Nidus Storm or something to get around Zest's army. Because one of the big things that is true about the Protoss Armada that makes it is so terribly dangerous, but it is so terribly slow. And like, for example, let's say that starts moving out, and Zest has no, like, Rogue has no way to stop him from killing this base, right? Do a Nidus Storm, bring Zest home, force a warp in, a recall, whatever.
I think if Rogue had a bigger bank, maybe that is in the future, but he has been running low on gas. He's even running low on minerals for a time. So.
Oh, the spores are nowhere near here either, so it's really tough to try and go for a fight. The Fungals miss too. There's a lot of infestors though. They're all trying to make sure they don't get revealed. Oh, a Ling Rabbi sneaks in. To no avail. I don't know, he's like expecting workers here 23 minutes in.
Much better to go after the robos or the gateways or even the pylons.
Yeah, I think this is kind of a bit of a wasted opportunity, but okay, Zest is really starting to push for this base. It's not got a lot of minerals. It's all about the gas, and he hasn't been mining gas from it this whole time.
Oh, something he really needed.
Wasted opportunities.
Mass Archons as a run-by. I just don't see that often.
It's kind of reminded me actually when Terran players just send the tanks to the run-bys. You know, playing Meg, you just get fed up and you end up accidentally killing a ton.
Yeah. That's something I was doing a lot with being a part of the swarm. Not medevac dropping, just running along the sides of the map, and it would do. But it is eventually cleaned up by reinforcements. Takes out a sizable chunk of the Ultras and Lings, though, that I guess is worth it. Archons for that, sure. It's such an expensive run-by. But still a stall out in the middle. Zest doesn't really want to push in. That's how he's going to lose the game. Rogue, ditto, but even more so.
So, there's a lot of talk in chat about like doing fungal plus parasitic bomb combos here, right? And while it's a great idea in concept, parasitic bomb really does not deal very much damage at all, and neither does fungal growth. And every unit in this army has like, you know, 250 health, 150 shields, 100 health, or 150 health, 100 shields. Grand scheme of things, parasitic bomb's like what, 80 damage, I think? Or where is it here? 60 damage, excuse me, and fungal's like another 30. So it's like it's really gonna tickle. It'll help, but it's not gonna be what breaks the air army.
cancel. You would really need a consistent chain of those spells, and that just should never happen. They should have feedbacks.
I actually really wonder at this point how good this would be to give this the Terran approach here, where you go like Ravagers or something to pair up with that, right?
You know, that was the very beginning of Legacy of the Void, when we saw Mass Carrier. People were going Ravagers against it. It was so long ago, and it was at literal very beginning that it's never remembered, but that was a response.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, you fungal the Interceptors so they can't actually attack your Ravagers and just walk in, throw the Corsair Biles and walk out. Like, you could do that all very easily within the realm of that fungal duration.
I think the problem with that, and I'm just guessing here, perhaps that because it is such a perfect scenario, you know, that like why even bother trying? But it also could have been the supply cost of roaches just is not worth it so late in the game.
Yeah, I mean, I was just thinking more because they're cheap.
10 Corsair Biles seems like it would be worth it because 10 Corsair Biles can kill everything in a clump.
Yeah, 600 damage. Feels bad, man.
That would be a lot of supply. I don't know.
Oh, another 6 spine collar placement.
That perfect of a fungal is quite low.
This spine collar placement is actually so huge to holding this base. But okay, we'll put the hypotheticals aside for a moment. What Rogue currently has is 19 Corruptors and only 3 Vipers. And I will say, like, while we can guess at hypotheticals for other types of units, I actually think having more Vipers might be beneficial in this situation. Like pull a Scarlet and go like 9 or something, right? Just have all the abducts available always. Because at the moment, as we see, Rogue can't do anything but slowly die.
Well, the problem with that is well, in a game like this where you haven't really dealt a lot of damage to their economy, they're matching your Vipers with their High Templars, and just straight up High Templars are better. Sorry, I don't know if there's much argument for that against that.
This is like I'm so on this, right? Because I think you can use the Vipers. We've seen Scarlet do this for sure, and a couple others where you keep the energy low, you just do the abduct, and even if you get feedback, you don't actually lose them because you didn't have any energy to die.
That is true. We have seen that from her and a couple others versus Protoss, but that mass Viper strategy was versus Terran versus Mech. So a bit of a different scenario. I'm not sure, because it's also like the whole idea is not just like you're matching High Templars, is that High Templars have X amount of feedbacks compared to killing, you know, a Viper. They have, I think, 4 feedbacks with full energy, 75. No,
it's 50, I think, for feedback, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah, it's only 50 energy. Alright, well, yeah, getting fed up, he finally goes to the break. Fungals hit everything here, and abducts are going off, and these Void Rays are just tearing through whatever they get their hands on here. Jesus Christ, even the Ultras just melted underneath this. Corruptors are doing some pretty good focus fire, though. I'll give them credit for that, but this trade-out is so much more expensive for Rogue, who's had almost no money to work with this whole time. And Zest, in the meantime, just finally spends his bank. He's like, okay, I guess I'll finally build 6 Void Rays.
Yeah. To be honest, Zest was having serious trouble against Rogue's late game. He just seemed not to take the right compositions, take the right fights in the last series that they played. If Zest is also going to take the late game in this series, this might be like a 3-1, even a 3-0. Because that's where Rogue was looking really good. Was the later the game went, the more chances he had. But he just lost a very sizable army.
Yeah, his army supply is almost half that of Zest's presently, and this kind of goes back to that game with Classic earlier, right? Less probes, more army. Same thing's applying here for Zest. There's not a lot left to mine on the map, though, at this point, which is kind of funny to consider. Like, we're actually almost out of bases straight up. I don't imagine that there's enough get up and go and fight in Rogue to have this be a fully mined out game, but man, we're damn close.
Yeah, there is still one base not touched in the bottom. Got close.
And feedback's on the Queen. Big Fungals gets a Neural Parasite or 4. Spine Crawlers assaulting the base too, and the Ultras move in. This is actually a really cool fight out of Rogue, but he's just out of juice, he's out of supply, and I think he's out of chances to win this game. GG.
GG. 30 minutes.
Yo, Rogue has given us some seriously good games today, though.
Yeah. Zest is too. Both of them combined.
Well, we're going to go to a quick commercial break because that was such a long game. We'll see you guys in 2 minutes. More when we get back. I'm going to quote chat here. Oh, wow. Mothership doesn't cloak banelings. Who one notices stuff like that. That's amazing. Got
It doesn't?
Captain Eagle Eyes in chat. I don't know. I'm going to assume that they were correct. I didn't look for it. I'm not looking at the changelings when it comes that late in the game.
Oh, changelings. I thought you said banelings.
No, changelings.
Okay, then I could believe changelings, I guess. If they didn't cloak banelings, it seems like a very big oversight.
Yeah. All right, well, it's still the finals for the Olimoleague, guys. Unfortunately, he is down one game in the moment. In the lower right, we have the red Zerg player, Janair's Rogue.
In the top left has the pink Protoss, Zest.
Is Zest on a team right now?
Nope. TY was the recent big pickup, but a lot of the other big names, nope.
Yeah, I'm really sad to give you guys like an update on this. I don't really know what's going on with Bjol. Like the last we heard over 40 days ago is he went to the hospital because he was really, really ill, and then I haven't heard anything about him since. And I've tried reaching out to him, and I don't know if he's just like on super vacation mode or what. And like, I'm like, I just want to give you money, dude. Like, where you been? But we need to find like a new player to pick up, man. A new LFT player. Because unfortunately,
Yeah.
I think 45 days is a little bit much to have no contact.
Yeah, that's kind of extreme. I mean, he's been playing in the SSL, so it's not like he literally fell off the face of the earth.
Yeah, I'm not sure what his plans are. Like, for those who don't know, by the way, our deal with Rogue, or not Rogue, excuse me, our deal with Bjol, I'm not gonna say how much money. It wasn't like a crazy amount, but it was like, hey, here's money, just wear our t-shirt and that's it. Like, literally, we're not asking you to tweet things, you're not playing in things you don't want to play in, like, I don't know. I feel like it's such an easy, quick buck to earn. I wish somebody would give me that deal.
Yeah, doesn't really. Oh well. Maybe it's Zest. Zest Innovation. Both about the teams. Dark doesn't have a team either. I guess speaking of like all the big names that we've been talking about, a lot of those guys don't have teams.
Yeah, oh, the other part too, I guess I forgot to add in. Like, I know the team looking for team name is kind of a meme, but we're literally trying to help these guys look for teams. Like, in the contract we have with Bjol, it literally says, like, if you, after 1 month period, if you if you find a better team or they give you an offer better than ours, we encourage you to take it. And you can leave at any time. You don't need our permission or anything like that.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I thought was doing a pretty good job in the first couple of months. You know, he tweeted about it. It was pretty hype, but didn't actually amount to much. And now it's just a bit of a ghosting situation.
Yeah, on that same note, while we never got around to making an official announcement about it, Major was only with us for a month, and then that was a disappointment. Things happened. We won't talk about them out of courtesy, but that was
Didn't work out.
we call it a bad investment. Just leave it at that.
Yeah. Oh, well. What is it in esports, I guess?
Us?
So,
hello?
Yeah, you should invest in us. Bye, bye, bye.
Actually, I will say that is the one thing I feel I can say proudly. Like, okay, we're not the most popular channel. Okay, we're not the blank or whatever. I'm not getting big endorsement deals, but we have always been able to return the investment type thing. The ROI on our stuff is pretty good, despite the fact that it's smaller scale.
Yeah. It's the reason Ting Season 4 is coming up.
It's the reason we still exist 4 years later. All right, but enough patting ourselves in the back and stroking our dicks. There's a game to be cast, of course, and Zest has gone for air once again.
Right, Stargate opener, very quickly into the Robo after that, and followed up by Twilight Council Forge, all that. So, normal openers. Will we get another super long game? It's certainly possible. These guys already played one best of 5 today in their time, yesterday in our time, and it had a lot of late game scenarios, which, as I mentioned, Rogue was looking a bit better in, that Zest has, I guess, fixed over the past few hours.
Another Overlord gonna go down. Or not? Okay.
You know?
This, by the way, isn't, despite the air opening, not an investment into air. Like, he's actually not going like mass oracles like I guess I expect most Protoss to do, but I guess I shouldn't at a Zest.
No, I really don't think he should. Zest has always been a macro guy that looks uncomfortable when he does cheeses. Like, he can do them, and sometimes they'll work out, but he never had the brilliance or comfortable state that Hero has when he does the cheese or classic.
Yeah.
And that kind of includes weird things, too. Because, again, like, you can't call little mass oracles cheesy. It's a thing now, but it is so different. And I don't think Zest is going to be too keen on practicing that. He tried once. He tried once when he was already ahead in a game, and he didn't even do it that, like, well. He just kind of went 7 oracles and was like, that was fun. Let me do something else. It was a bit weird. So I would not expect mass oracles from Zest soon. Maybe if it continues being in the meta, he'll develop his own style with it.
BaseTradeTV, I'll give you money if you wear I Love Pineapple on Pizza t-shirt. I'm sorry, but you couldn't afford the amount of money it would take me to wear that t-shirt.
I would wear that t-shirt for $5.
So, I'll pay you to give me the t-shirt. Just make the t-shirt and send it to me.
And buy me a pizza with pineapple on it.
Yeah, that's gotta be part of the deal. It's gotta, like, just pop the pizza off this t-shirt like a 3D picture.
Maybe technology will be able to do that one day.
Well, Warpin's gonna start bringing some of the pain. Ling's on the ground will make sure, though, that this isn't something easily dealt with, but with 2 oracles to escort these guys in, I think the drop should be okay.
You know, if they do focus fire the Banelings, this should be taken very seriously. I think Rogue's taking it seriously, which is like, you hate it when you think you have a perfect defense and suddenly the oracles are more surprising. That's actually what the mass oracle strategy seems to revolve around. 8 oracles, 10 hides will take care of that. Just kidding, no they won't. But Zest is not really focusing on one attack so much, doing as much damage as possible with that, but rather distracting somewhere or another and getting a lot of damage in one or both locations.
Oh, it's a real Dark Souls moment there for Zest. Comes to the top of the ramp, sees the Banelings, turns around immediately. It's like, nope. Revelation now casts on most of the army, so he sees what's coming.
Yeah. So Rogue deals with Zest's pressure really well. Zest had 2 warp prisms he had in mind to really push and make an issue out of this. But because he read Rogue's response, Rogue, not with a quick 4th base, not with like an overabundance of drones, was taking that fight seriously. Zest just backs off. This exact game happened earlier, and Zest committed and lost everything and then GG'd out. I don't know, I feel like Zest is rapidly learning from his mistakes against this guy, and that's why I'm like really thinking it could be, obviously not a stomp. These games are back and forth, but it could be like a 3-1.
That's brutal.
I feel like every time I start to hype up Zest specifically, he does the opposite of what I say specifically, and then he still wins the game, so I'm like, okay, that still works out. It's good enough, kid.
I need you to never not hype him then, so that Rogue can win, please. Thank you.
What if I hype Rogue? Maybe things will happen for Rogue.
No, you are a jinx.
No, you stay away. This is mine. You stay away from my boy. Never talk to me and my son again.
Don't ever talk to me or my son ever again.
Okay.
Hey, thank you After for Effect for that Twitch Prime sub, by the way.
After Effects, like the program.
After Effect, like the After Effects. By the way, guys, I guess quick sellout moment here too. If you guys don't know, Twitch Prime does not auto-renew. Once every 30 days, your Prime sub is available to use once again on any streamer you like. We would hope and appreciate you would choose us, but for those of you that have never used Twitch Prime before and don't know how it works, there's a lot of cool benefits, and one of the big ones is that free sub once a month. So make sure to head on over to twitchprime.com, connect your Amazon Prime, and get it for free. Oh, the Greencaster's adding some hype to this run by as the mutas come through to the main. There's actually not much to stop this, despite the Stargates and the units that were made for them early on.
Zest completely blindsided by this Mutalisk. It's not a swap. He did just make only those back into Infestors, but it is doing a ton of damage. As we even slow warp with my Templars.
It's a fair bit more than the usual 8 that are the culprits here, but they'll catch the Archon before it's finished. Kills the Templar too.
Oh, Zest.
Zest is
not
really out of
responding
hand.
very well. Yeah, I mean, he pushed as this happened. It was a perfect timing for Rogue to do that.
Oh, Bailing's reaching back for the Templar.
God.
Oh, combination storms and Bailings are good. GG. Rogue takes the game.
Well, one smart play leads to some really, really questionable move outs once again.
I didn't expect that to end like that as quick as it did.
Yeah, well, that happens. My cats are having a feud right now.
So who was the threw some bucks, by the way? Thank you very much to Laser SEQ. Drops off some support and flies away. Dude, one of these days you gotta stay, man. You can't be that absentee dad. We need you for our children. You can't just go out for cigarettes and not come back, okay? No, I'm kidding. Yeah. Thank you, Laser, for the $5, dude. Oh, Abyssal Reef will be the next map chosen by Zest.
Oh boy. Well, I don't have to make it. Just kidding.
Also, Messin's almost dead. Bit boss almost slain. Don't forget to claim your boss glory before it's too late, Messin. If you guys don't know, if you are the bit boss, you get a lot of cool powers. You can tax the rest of the chat and steal their money. You can boss glory to get some loot. You can be really generous and give people stuff too if you want, but bosses get cool powers.
I would be a benevolent bit boss.
There's that one guy who was genius. I don't remember who it was. He donated through GatherBot to give everyone a bunch of extra bonus points and then taxed them all immediately. I'm like, you're a madman, but you're so smart.
That is mean. Who would be so mean?
That sounded like the cat voice. I didn't even have to look at your camera to know you were touching a cat as you were speaking. All right, Abyssal Reef. See you guys in a sec.
The Vespine is always greener in somebody else's base. You dream about blowing up theirs, but they have a real good race. Just look at the map around you, right here on Abyssal Reef. As ultras and links surround you, so make like a tree and leave under the sea. Typing GG, darling, it's better typing those letters. Take it from me.
Dude, that Prime sub sellout worked like crazy good. Thank you for the 3 Prime subs, boys. Coming in from Mario Mancilla, Citizen 820, and Athernites? I thought I was confidently going to say that last one, and I messed it up. Thank you nonetheless for your Prime subs, guys. We are hopping into game number 3, however. It's the best of 5 finals, and spawning here in the bottom right, having just tied things up 1-1, it's Rogue.
In the top left, has the pink Protoss. He is Zest.
By the way, Cyan on Twitter tweeting at us saying, LFT Zest and the jersey is a picture of Zest. Make it happen. Go, go, go for the memes. So like this video of the jersey is just like a big, it's just Zest's face blown up on the jersey.
I think we need a little bit of that neck and shoulder action. To be honest.
Get him one of those shirts that's like got the pre-printed out abs and stuff on it, right? So it just looks like he's not wearing anything at all.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I don't know why this is a thing. I've seen 3 girl streamers with this recently though. They got this like, it looks like, I don't know, like a one piece bathing suit, but it's got like hairy man belly and like man tits like printed on it. So they go like,
I haven't seen that.
Well, the first time I saw this girl was doing this kind of like sexy dance with her jean jacket, and then pops it off, and I'm like, wait, is she naked? Oh, what the, what? Wait, what? What's happening? Like, but I've seen at least 3 people with those variations of things. I'm like, okay, this is weird.
So I recently saw the full trailer for Jumanji. I had already heard about it. And
I'm sorry,
like,
let's back up. How did you just say that?
Jumanji?
Jumanji?
Jumanji.
It's not. Wait, what?
What?
Okay, I could be crazy here, right? Isn't it Jumanji? Like a sound?
Jumanji?
Jumanji sounds like you getting some munchies, like.
I don't think it's that off.
Give me Jumanji's mine. I got the munchies.
Jumanji. I don't know. I feel like that's how we said it in the movie. We're gonna see which one of us
okay,
chat
guys, chat. We gotta do this. We're voting 1s and 2s here, boys. 1 for Jumanji,
remember?
2 for Jumanji.
Can we remember which one is which this time?
Yes, 2 is Rivka's favorite number is 2. 2 is the right answer. There you go, easy peasy.
1's the best, and number 1 is the answer.
I actually don't know I've ever heard anyone say Jumanji. This really caught me off guard. But I'm sorry, go on. About Jumanji.
It's not that. It's not like I'm saying. It's not like I'm saying Jumanji. Like it's close
Jumanji!
Jumanji's really weird cousin. Oh god.
Jumanji!
Look, man, he started this. Oh god, I was gonna talk about how terrible the movie looked because you brought up the whole like pretty girl streamer. You talk about the pretty girl streamer, and that's like a thing that happens in the movie. Is the pretty obsessed with the looks girl gets turned into Jack Black?
Yo, she doesn't understand how lucky she is, dude. She just became 1/2 of Tenacious D, and she can't appreciate that.
It looks so stupid. I hate how different it is.
I don't know. I know that I've got a huge crush on Karen Gillan or whatever her name is, the redhead, and so I'm kind of okay with it.
Well, I mean, Dwayne.
And I love The Rock.
Awesome.
And I love Kevin Hart. So it's like,
and
I love
well,
Jack
I don't like
Black.
Kevin Hart so much, but I love Jack Black. I don't know, man.
I don't think it's gonna be a great movie, but I'm probably still gonna see it.
We'll see it.
Yeah, so remember, 1 was Jumanji, 2 was Jumanji, and we're gonna see what people say. That stream delay should be catch up any moment. I don't care what's going on in the game right now. This is 10 times more important to me. But I should note that the Hydrodon's finishing up really quickly, and so is the charge in the Dark Shrine. Like, Zest's Archon attack is something classically he's done since like forever.
This is off of 2 bases though. This is pretty dedicated, and Rogue needs to be taking it seriously. But Zest, I don't know if it's gonna work out. It is something that is like a lot easier to scout because you simply like are wondering where the 3rd base is.
Look at those 2s, Zombie Grub. It's raining 2s.
Whatever, man. It's really not that different.
Hallelujah, it's raining 2s.
Like, what is the difference? Is so small.
No, it's not. This isn't like Sorry versus Sorry. This is like Jumanji and Jumanji. It's just no. I can't.
Jumanji and Jumanji, like it's so similar. It's literally a soft A and a hard A difference.
There's just some things about you. You know, you're just like the greatest person, and then stuff like this happens.
So I mean,
it changes my entire point of view on you.
I really don't get like I said, it's not like it's that far off.
Well, then just say it correctly.
Okay, if I remember. Like, I don't know how many times we're gonna be talking about this movie.
I know, right? This hot topic of a movie featuring Robin Williams from like 19.
It was the 90s. Yeah.
The original movie was pretty dope though, like, for real. I feel like it was a good movie, and it had like life lessons in it too, and I don't know, it was a good movie.
The life lesson was really weird. I thought the whole lesson of his dad was just actually kind of questionable. Like, you should stay and fight against the guy that has a gun. That's the life lesson.
You know what? I wish Wardy learned that lesson. If someone wants to clip this and send it to Wardy, I'm just gonna say one word: machete.
Oh my god.
Okay, so
like, I still haven't even heard that story, but I just know what it is.
So right now we do have Zest actually in full retreat, funny enough, but it does bait these Lings into a fight with a forceful cutting him off. Right side still needs to be dealt with. This is something he did really well in game 1, of course, right? Like the split attacks, distracting Rogue on one side and hitting with the other. Unfortunately, this doesn't deal the damage it did before, and Rogue handles this so well. The earlier Hydralisk debt is paying huge dividends right now. I also really like, dude, this is something we're talking about. He's not committing to chasing. He just blew up the Warp Prism. I think Zest is dead in the water if he doesn't kill more drones at this point. But the thing is, Rogue isn't chasing that one Archon off to the left side. He comes back to deal with this army and doesn't let us get out of control. Like, he's not getting greedy, I guess. I like the way Rogue's playing, and I'm already fanboying over Rogue today, so whatever. But this was handled very well for this attack.
As I said, it's kind of easy to scout. Zest just not going for a third base. There's no real way to stop this from being scouted, so he really has to hope that it's just a surprise, like how well it can do. But Rogue took it absolutely seriously, still on 3 bases, 58 drones, and just powered up on an army as much as possible. I don't think he's going to be taken aback by the follow-up attack either. That did happen earlier versus Classic. Guy dealt with the Warp Prism easily, comes back again later, do so hot. He still has a really good army. I don't think it's going to happen.
That's a lot of sentries.
It is. He had a lot of gas. He's going for a lot of adepts. Different type of attack, but same idea. Still off of 2 bases. This doesn't work. It is going to be game over.
Oh, I like the Lurker Den at a Rogue a lot, actually. And I think this works out even better because there's no, like, Immortals or anything in play. But these evolution walls, I guess we didn't really call them out earlier, but he had an evolution wall set up before, and this is part of why it takes Zest so long to bust into the mineral lines and actually attack into Rogue. I mean, Zerg players are not ones you typically talk about their SimCity for, but he's nailing it.
That was a pretty cool idea. I mean, the back attack of charge lots would have just done what force fields would have without the damage, and he's still trying to do it. It's a cool idea from Zest. Execution's not even possible.
Wardy's here, by the way. Oh, he's gonna get the Warp Prism, and that's gonna stop pretty much all momentum for Zest. Not that he really had that much. He gotta tap out. GG! Rogue with a 2-1 lead. Not a victory yet, though, because it is a best of 5. But maybe I'll tell the Wardy Machete story a little bit later. We're gonna go to commercial break, though, before we hop into Game 4, so sit tight, guys. We got at least one more game coming at you. We'll see you soon.
No.
I love the intro meme, but it's just too long, guys. I don't think I'm going to be able to keep it, so enjoy like the one time I play that on stream. We are back, though, for game number 4. Hopefully my mic is working. It actually broke during the break, so if you guys are hearing any issues, if it's peaking too loud, if it doesn't sound good, please let me know, because I tried to fix it a bit on the fly and I'm not sure that I did. But it's at least picking up sound, so hey, there's that much going for us. It's game 4, though, as I said, here in the Olimoleague finals. Spawning in the top right, we've got the Blue Zerg, Rogue.
In the bottom left has the pink Protoss. He is Zest.
Now, you had mentioned this before. Zest had beaten Rogue, albeit closely, in a series not too long ago. I'm actually really stoked knowing that this could go to a game 5, but Rogue played that last one out so well. Like, he knew exactly what Zest was going to do. He predicted his movements precisely. He reacted so perfectly. And again, that Evo chamber wall that we didn't get to talk about going down twice, like, I just couldn't be more impressed with Rogue than after watching the defense in that game.
I'm not, like, as impressed with the defense in general, but the wall off with the evolution chambers was cool.
Whoa, what is this proxy, though?
Proxy Stargate? But it's, like, not even a proxy, so it's gotta be, like, a Twilight Council.
Yeah, I think it's Twilight Council Dark Shrine just to hide it, so it doesn't get scouted. Rogue has been pretty consistent. Oh, no, it's a Stargate, okay. I was gonna say, that Rogue has been pretty consistent about the Overlords and their speed and, like, just looking for things all day, not even just, like, specifically against Zest. So, if Zest was doing this to high technology, I wouldn't be surprised. but it is just a Stargate, which it's weird because I feel like this isn't so close that it benefits timings, and it's not like you need to hide Stargate tech versus Zerg anymore.
Yeah, that's what's really weird about it. Like, if you're gonna hide tech, hide something a little more surprising than a Stargate off of 2 bases. If you're gonna proxy a Stargate, then really proxy it so it's like a good 10-15 seconds earlier than it should be. I don't know. So this is something that Rogue is looking for, though. So this is just gonna be maybe not even the most effective Stargate, and then it's also gonna be, like,
no,
down.
he's gonna leave just short of it.
Oh, okay then. Alrighty then.
Yo, quick thanks to Coda Carlson for that new sub, by the way. Welcome to the family. The Base Trade Brigade welcomes you. This Ling is going to be distracted killing her probe, so it won't even go back to look for this. Again, it's not the biggest deal to not see this. But it's still like, I'm surprised he doesn't. Watchtower should at least see the Oracle coming out. Unless that's just so smart that he rallies it around it, which he does. Oh!
I mean, I think he should be smart enough. He's going to proxy in that location. He should really have it well thought out, you know?
Beautiful.
But is it? I mean, is it still worth? I don't know, man. The spore crawlers are still going to be up just in time, and now you just have a Stargate that's. I mean, I guess if he's only going to produce 2 or 3 oracles, then so be it. The Stargate can die, do whatever it wants. But this wasn't seemingly worth putting it out of the location.
Dude, is 47ness not a fan of Animu? As an artist, I'm surprised. Animu and mangoes.
So many
Animu, mangoes, husbandos, waifus. It's basically my life in a nutshell. Are you still going on with this? Can you just accept that you're wrong? You had so many people. Like, there wasn't a single one in that vote.
No, but I was like, man, but where would I ever get that pronunciation? I've watched the movie 1,000 times, and I swear to God, in the movie, they do pronounce it as Jumanji, so I went and bought it and looked it up.
Okay, where's the link? Give it to me. I'm gonna listen to this on stream while the game's going on. You can cast. I'm gonna listen to this stupid link. Where is it?
Okay, it's at the end. It's the announcer. Either he says it like that, or I hear it like that, and I'm actually just the crazy one, and that's fine. I'm willing to accept that.
At the end, like... What are we talking here? Minute and a half or what? I don't want to listen to the whole trailer on stream.
I know it. So I said near the end. It's like when it pops up, right? Minute 25. Start there.
Okay.
Jumanji.
No, I absolutely hear Jumanji, like with an A sound there.
I absolutely don't.
There's no way. Hang on, one more time. I guess I can see, like, okay, here's the thing. I don't hear it like that, but I can see how you hear it like that, if that makes sense. It's not like a hard A sound, so it's like, okay, I get it. Maybe 2 people hear that differently when they listen to it. But
some people in chat were like, okay, I can do that one.
I can't.
I can't with you, man.
With me?
So much on this specific thing.
You're the one, dude. You're the one who can't let it go. I'm just saying.
Of course, I can't let it go. How much you harped on me for it? If you're just like, oh, I understand, that's a mistake. You know, that's we'll get over that. But no, you're just like, yeah, I made it sweet. You like take a pull. I had to defend myself.
Look, I did this for you. I didn't want you to go around the rest of your life embarrassingly saying it wrong in front of
Trust me, I've gone through all 26 years of my life before that movie was even made. As a baby, I was pronouncing it Jumanji and no one said anything.
Your first word as a baby was not mama or papa, it was Jumanji. And they're like, oh no, she's retarded. Oh, we can't tell her.
No one said it was wrong. Everyone was like, yeah, that's an acceptable way of saying that.
Yo, Zombie Up, I appreciate you for who you are, and I don't want to argue about this because there's some really cool stuff going down with 2 warp prisms.
Well, it's not unusual. Zest is the type of guy. He went for a pretty quick 3rd base beyond that proxy, well, sort of proxy oracle. So this is more of a backing to it. It doesn't need to fully commit and doesn't need to do a lot of damage.
The Storm is not exactly super duper fast, but at the same time, I gotta point out, Rogue seems to be kind of... I'm worried he's gonna do that greedy thing again. Not in terms of like not having enough army, but he's getting to that infestation pit quickly. Is that gonna be for a really fast hive?
Probably. He tried this against Classic on Acolyte.
Right. And it went badly.
It did, but only because he kind of just... He didn't realize how much Charge Lots and Archons could snowball. I think he's maybe taking it a little bit more seriously. He does have Banelings, just use them though.
Okay, Zest is doing multiple things, which is why he's not looking at this, but if those Archons were focusing the Banelings, I think they would have actually killed it before Baneling speed finished. They still might. He took so long to actually shoot it though, so unfortunately that Baneling is going to finish up speed. Centrifugal Hooks is going to be done.
That would have been a pretty good pick off, and one not too commonly picked off either. Not the case, but now Rogue is in this weird position where he is probably going to get to Hive. We'll see what he gets from that Hive, I guess Ultras. But he's only on 3 bases. Zest is already on to 4. Like, his aggression, he didn't actually go through with it, just a couple of drops here and there. But he got a lot of macro behind it. 76 probes to 69 drones. But 69 drones on 3 bases.
69 is the cooler number. I don't know why. I've just been told that by society 420 times.
I'm really sad that they took your name in IC Cup, by the way.
Oh, you saw that with me? I was so mad about this, guys. Normally, if like somebody takes Rifkin, I just go to Rifkin 69. But someone took both Rifkin and Rifkin 69 on the remastered BattleNet. So now I'm XXSSJ69 Rifkin XX. I'm keeping the name.
Well, that's really throwing it back then.
That takes me so... Like, I just need to be playing Sunken D's and Sex with Kerrigans with the names like that.
Oh my god. Just exclusively make those as lobbies.
I'll just never start it. I'll just have it like 24/7 open so people can come join. See what delinquents join those games and put them on a list.
Okay, Zest is on with 5 bases, by the way.
I'm sorry, I like this, like, To Catch a Predator style custom lobby stuff. Like, the lobby name is like Sex with Young Boys. Everybody who joins is instantly banned by Blizzard. Like,
please no. Please just don't anyone clip that. Oh, it's too late.
Blizzard's just like, they don't even have so meant. It's just automated. Like, anyone who joins the game is just instantly banned forever. Anyways, we do have carriers coming out of Zest pretty early, I'd say, too, all things considered, but he's kind of been given the freedom to do this. With his double War Prism attacks, keeping Rogue really at home and on the defense, there's been no threat to him on this side of the field. So really, the freedom to go carriers was granted, and he's taking full advantage of it.
Yeah. As I was saying, like, Zest got to such a powerful macro game behind that bit of aggression with the War Prisms. Rogue took it very seriously. He's also was going for his own fast Hive. It just wasn't really that fast since Zest was also developing to the late game. You know, these Ultras aren't being massive counters to a weak mid-game army of Zest. And he doesn't have Broodlords either, anywhere close to them. Zest is getting to that air army.
It's really hard having a stream delay, guys, when we want to let conversations die, but it just keeps bouncing back 3 minutes later, over and over.
It's a true curse.
All these other broadcasters out there, they Twitch is so hard, and they sit there with their no delays and their interaction with their chat.
They make one joke and they let it lie. Losers.
Yeah, they get to end their conversations when they want to end their conversations.
It's like we're constantly saying aloha, you just start all over again.
Annyeong.
It's hello and goodbye. Ah, I get it.
Annyeong.
Were you the one who hasn't seen Miss Congeniality?
I've seen Miss Congeniality. Sandra Bullock's hot.
And I feel like there's someone
that was beautiful.
The movies. That was a nice catch of feelings.
Whatever, man. I feel like Sandra Bullock nailed it in that one movie. What was it called?
Gravity.
Gravity. Has she done anything since then? I'm
sure she has, just nothing nearly as cool. You know what space movie really made me disappointed? Life.
I heard that one was really scary. I avoided that because I don't like scary things.
There was one part of the movie that was grotesque, that made me uncomfortable, but I didn't think it was very scary at all, and I saw every single twist coming. I don't know, I wasn't very impressed. Anyways, neither here nor there. The game, though, I mean, it has, like, reached this point of just, okay, no one's attacking. Both players are going to go to the late game.
Yeah, actually, look at the resources lost, right? So incredibly passive to get to this point. And this is both cool and bad, right? Because instead of taking 20 minutes to get to this point, we arrive at this destination 13 minutes in. And we already saw both of these guys know how to handle the late game. So this is kind of cool. It's almost like we did like a no rush 13 minutes, right? Like, and now we're getting to that point where they're ready to attack. And, you know, Rogue has asserted a lot of map control through creep spread. His techs, he's on 3-3 for melee and armor, which is great, but that's not going to help him with the air.
No, it's not. That's actually, you see like a powerful 3-3 upgrades, and you're like, oh, that's so baller, and that's actually not the best.
It's literally nothing. Like,
it's as disappointing as the movie Life. Nah.
Why was this movie so disappointing, Zamgrub? You clearly want to talk about it.
No, I can't explain. There's something truly disappointing. Just overall, it wasn't as good as I was hoping for. It had like a really good cast. It had, you know, I'm down with any of the space stories. It just didn't live up to its potential. I like Gravity. I really liked Gravity. I cry every time Interstellar. Those set the bar real high. Real high.
Sure, okay. Ultra run-bys were something we did see the last time these two tangoed this sort of phase of the game, I suppose. But they're quickly deterred. I love the Lings going to the south while this goes on. A couple tempo left here, too, out of Zest, so he's making good moves here for defending. A lot of cannons coming down with this, too.
Yeah. So I feel like Zest, well, it's always hard to say that because they get faster to carriers that they're going to have the kill move, because carriers just don't do well unless they're in really high numbers or supported by a large ground force. But he was the first one to get there. He was the first one to get to any of these extra bases, 4th, 5th, 6th. He is a bigger bank. I would put him in a good position. But the reason I started off that kind of is it really that great, is because Rogue is allowed to get to his own super powerful economy and his own super late game tech. So it's like, I mean, Zest can have the better position overall, but one bad fight means that Rogue can definitely take the game. God. Life is better than Alien Covenant, though. I do agree. I haven't liked the recent Alien movies at all. And I was on board Prometheus just for oh, okay, that was a cool movie. I feel like Covenant was the exact same thing. But I don't really bother talking about the Aliens movies so much because I feel like that's just a fan following I don't actually want to have any fight with. I don't pay attention that much to the lore. I don't understand why they did all the...
Yeah, why you call them aliens? They're clearly called xenomorphs, you idiot. Fake movie girl.
Oh, God.
By the way, run by down here once again. I love the idea of the Banelings coming through to try and break the cannons, but the Templar and the Storms cover it. Ultra's still going to try and break through, but for Rogue, it should never be about one attack. It should always be about attacking on one side to distract and then attacking on the other. That's what he's doing up here to the north. Big attack moving into this base, and there's actually no defenders here. Everything's been left down to the south. The Mothership Cord, maybe a recall, but that's dangerous. And the DTs are an excellent choice, but the Overseer here actually gets feedback, so never mind. No more detection. These will deal with the Ultras.
Well, that's the second time I think Zest has gotten away with DTs being emergency defense. That's actually really good. Very effective trade with the DTs. Maxing out the upgrades on the air army and taking the map should start clearing up that creep. No observer though. He has an oracle? No oracle either! Oh, come on, Zest. Just throw away that army and a bunch of fungals.
The lack of oracles actually surprises me, because it's like the key component to everything Protoss. Doesn't matter what you're fighting or who you're fighting, you want to have revelation at all times on your enemy. And that actually is probably a really big part of why we're watching Zest kind of, I'm going to say, struggle with air quotes because he is defending. He's not actually taking big losses, but he is being attacked in both locations consistently and not seeing it coming. Well,
Acolyte was a very good choice. That was wanted to play.
Yeah. I threw up a straw poll while this is going on, guys. See what you guys want. I'm revitalized. I got that second wind. I want to stream something once we're done. So click on the straw poll. Let me know what you guys want me to cast or stream, I guess you could call it. Options are StarCraft Remastered Campaign, which fuck you guys. PUBG or Race to Tier.
Wait, why'd you say fuck you guys?
Because I got so fucking triggered when we did this, when you ditched, you know? You remember when you ditched our little hype to Legacy of the Void? I got so triggered playing that shit, dude. Infested Terrans are so dumb. Why do they even put those in the campaign?
Yeah. It was a bad move to try and run that one.
500 damage! I mean, really, honestly!
Yeah. I'm gonna take that nice and slow if I end up doing that in the remastered.
Okay, so it's kind of crazy that Rogue has had the money, and more importantly, the freedom to do ultra run-bys and kind of just waste them in the process, but it's something he can afford to do. It's clearing the cannons. Once the cannons are gone, Lings come by later if Zest gets complacent about replacing them. This is such a weird game to look at, though, because resources lost, almost dead even, but really there's no way for Rogue to fight this army comfortably.
Yeah. Especially with the eventual, I would hope, Revelations going down. Still no Oracle in play. 2 on the way. DT harassment's gonna be a pain for these outlying expansions, where Zest is trying to rebuild those cannons. I mean, the thing is, we're gonna have a very similar game to, I guess, Abyssal Reef, was it? Where it's just... No, that was Odyssey. Yeah. Okay, whatever that game was where it went late game. Is that Zest doesn't really want to ever push into the middle of the map or into the Zerg player. He'd be much more happy if Rogue pushed into him and gave away a lot of his corruptors. So it might just go on for another 10 minutes.
It's just... This is reminding me a little bit of the Snoot and Neve game from back in the day, right? Where it's just like Ultras trading for cannons. Eventually, at some point, Rogue just sacks all of his queens and drones and makes a pure army to remax like 7 times over.
That was an historic game. And I can't believe I keep forgetting that it even happened, you know? Just... For
me, that game like defines one of my favorite moments in StarCraft casting. Just because it was... I actually don't know we'll ever cast something so ridiculous ever again.
Don't think so. That was very long, entirely mined out, and it's not really possible. But apparently Rogue and Zest are gonna try.
Well, the Sport Caller is getting some licks in, by the way, so actually being useful for once. He has lessened up on the cannons and started replacing with gateways. I actually think this is a really clever idea, because right now the cannons, they're not dealing damage. They're Sim City, right? Gateways have way more health than cannons for the same cost. This is brilliant. I love it. Zest, you're so smart.
It's going to be more about Sim City protecting these outer lying bases. And not against the Ultras, although they're very effective against the Ultras, but also against Ling Run buys. You know, it's gateways protecting cannons that are going to be able to save that, and then DT warfare.
There's a couple elements to this that we didn't see last time these guys squared off in the late game, and one of them was that Zest really had upgrades far superior to that of Rogue. Rogue actually is coming up on +3 air weapons this time. He's got +2 air carapace finishing as well. So his army is going to be able to fight a little bit better than we saw last time, but Zest is also very fully upgraded.
Oh yeah, he has been for a while. Well, I guess he's finishing up the shield upgrade. So he's not mining for that base anymore, but they both have accrued quite a bank. It would take a few bases lost and quite a few probes lost before they really have to worry about the economy. Zest is going the path of just replacing that economy with armies. He's gonna bother saving that. I mean, those DTs would have gotten a lot of free kills. I'm not sure the recall was absolutely necessary.
I agree, but I guess at this point it might just be the point, or excuse me, the principle of it. You're just like, look, I can't let you have the moral victory.
He wasn't really
here.
getting much position anyway, I suppose. So recall just to be safe. Come back again to the middle of the map at a later time. So we'll wait and something to happen.
I mean, the thing is, we all... Oh, hello.
Hello. Those are corruptors just chilling next to a warp prism.
Both players have just like not considered these units, I guess. I was gonna say though, it's actually funny. Rogue has had the freedom to expand. Zest has, granted, had a lot of bases, but he's actually having trouble getting anywhere else with his base constantly under attack. So, well, right now the banks are huge and nobody really cares. This might actually come down to a point where Zest, you know, he needs another base eventually.
Yeah, eventually you will. I mean, my gut still tells me he takes the more cost-effective engagement once the engagement goes down. It's like, it's one lack of revelation away from neural parasites, fungals, whatever. Although in this game he did not get neural parasites, so just fungals.
I wonder if, like, he's not been casting Revelation on purpose to keep his fingers not cramped, right? So now when it matters, he's... You know, everyone else sprinted at the start of the race. Zest took a nice leisurely jog, and now he's got all that energy for the last 100 meters.
Yeah. Probably.
Yeah, definitely. I'm sure that's how that worked. Finally, do have some revelations coming down, and they catch the infestors, which is big. So many overseers. How many overseers is that?
Enough to not be feedbacked.
It's 12.
I'm taking this very seriously.
I'm actually so concerned because this is such a big amount of supply if this were to die. Like, suddenly he's down to like 100 supply cap.
Oh, there's another base denied mining, but it was already mowed out. Best bet gonna get some pylons. That's a lot of stargates.
It is.
Pretty. Moving them pretty quickly. I feel like Rogue should be losing this base to the top left soon. Zest is posturing, but not quite confident. Having the lead use against him, I guess, with the abducts. He has Eye Templars. I see them. They're cloaked, but I see you. He's still not confident pushing forward.
Queens are actually doing a surprisingly good job aiding and killing these interceptors. It's the beauty of having, I guess, a little bit of extra support from the support units.
Yeah. These interruptions to Zest's bases and economy are starting to affect his income. Well, his bank, rather. More accurately. Rogue gaining a little bit in that area. Losing out on some tech as well.
Yeah, getting on top of the Stargates is going to be obviously one of the bigger killers, but I do wonder like how big of a deal this is for Zest. He's not using most of the buildings he just lost. Meanwhile, the air army's on the prowl, looking to just catch what it can. You know, there's an odd Tempest out on its own. Maybe abducts a couple of Templar, I don't know. Ultra run by to the bottom right, Lings on top of these Stargates once again. DTs are trying to defend this, but the Lings with Adrenal Glands and +3 are chewing through these buildings before they get killed.
Yeah. And Zest is applying no pressure while this is happening. I mean, these are
Zest
20,
is
30
actually almost out of
run
probes.
bys. He is. He could have produced them fairly quickly, but he needs to recognize he's out of probes.
Right, when you're sitting there on a 5k bank, you're really not thinking about your economy anymore, I imagine.
He needs to get back on 5 probes at a time. He'd be back up to a reasonable 40-45, but he is not producing them.
And he didn't realize his Nexus attempt to expand got denied by burrowed Ling. These Lings, by the way, the main kept juking at the DTs by burrowing every time they got caught, so they've had a lot of longevity, and they've torn down what looks to be like 2 more Stargates in the process. Maybe this 3rd one too? No. Oh my god. Rogue has actually got a lot more damage done to Zest than I would have imagined with the way this game has gone. Really impressed.
Well, initially, those Ultra Run buys are being cleaned up by the DTs. A lot more effective Zest, but the last few run buys have been very effective. You know, the little army escorting the bottom right base doesn't get this one.
Zest has been really aggressive, and he's been, of course, assailing the bases. It amazes me that he's only killed 15 drones this game, though.
It's a lot of the reason Rogue has less drone supplies because he's been building so many spore crawlers.
Yeah. This is kind of cool. I'm actually feeling so good for Rogue as time goes on here. Just a lot of this has to do with the fact that Zest, we recognize everyone had banks, and we said later eventually this could be a problem, and we're approaching later, right? Like, he still doesn't have this base down. He doesn't even have enough probes to fully saturate that base when he gets it down. And of course, Rogue's still sitting on like 7k, 4k, easy peasy, with new mining still happening.
This still could come down to a scenario like Rogue versus Classic, where Classic had the better army but did run out of economy, and he did end up losing that game, so this could be Zest's loss. My point is, it might come down to, is the army unbeatable? Can Zest take a really dramatic win in the army fight and carry that momentum forward? Or will this constant pressure on his economy end up, you know, really hurting him? Because Rogue can remax and he won't be able to.
This is a huge lane run by down here. This is like Zest can't recall. He has to walk down. If by walking down here, this exposes his top base, yeah, more lanes just gonna run in. And granted, there's no real hard reason to kill this, but it's still just like killing Zest.
Oh. I had 2 attempts with that.
Yeah, Lings for Storms, not Lings for the Templar. Not a bad trade.
So frustrating. He really could have, I think, built up the Sim City and the static defense better when he was still mining, dependent, like, at an even rate. Instead, he kind of let it go, let his DT warp-ins take care of it, and kept on trying to move in the middle of the map, and it just really hurt.
Tries for the big break. Fungals covering this army.
Did he overcharge? It's so hard to tell. Because I think that's why the purpose is away? I don't know. Well, Zest still has an army supply lead.
What?
Oh, sorry, personic alignment.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He does on some of these last couple of Void Rays, but he's already lost so many of them. A lot of those Spore Crawlers getting a lot of damage in there, and Zest, Rogue does remax.
Well, I was also going to mention, we kind of haven't talked about it for a while now, but Zest lost a lot of his production. He can only build 3 Void Rays at a time, and he has to rebuild the Cyber Core to even build more Stargates. So this loss from Zest is one that's going to sting for quite some time. And while this goes on, of course, both players exhaust their banks that they had accrued over the course of this game. And with Zest having no new mining, this is devastating for him.
Right, now he took a engagement that ended up being even in supply even after Rogue maxed out, so maybe, again, he could take a really great one, but he lost a lot of those key Void Rays, which were holding up against the Corruptors. And now he can't hold up against them. 4 Void Rays were not enough.
If there was Archons underneath this would be a massacre in the favor of Zest, but they're only just finishing up. The Tempests are all gone. I think that's it. Rogue looking to lock down to 3-1 and get revenge for that ballistic gaming loss earlier today.
He certainly does. I thought Zest looked quite good in that first game, and Smart in the beginning of the second, but Rogue a little bit better.
Hell of a passive game, though, to end this on. Like, it was action-packed in terms of, like, there was constantly something happening, but with such, like, here's 3 Ultras, and then there's 3 Ultras, and then here's 3 Ultras, and now 6 Lings, and it's just, like, constant back and forth between the two.
Yeah, exactly. It was long. It was a true test of late-game skill, and Rogue was better.
Yo, it was a sick finals, though, and I all day today has been pretty good. Yo, we got to watch a lot of really cool games out of Rogue, but even with that being said, who was that? Impact and Alive, I think? Whatever that third game we cast there was pretty awesome, too. We got a lot of really good games out of today's Olimoleague.
Yeah, we certainly did. It was a long Olimoleague, almost 5 hours.
Yeah, well, I guess when you got like 30-minute plus games, that's so surprising.
Yeah.
Well, guys, before we head off or anything like that, I would like to, of course, thank you for joining us on the show. If you enjoyed it, be sure to hit that follow button and come back for all our future casts. So there was kind of the option to, like, an hour from now, maybe start WCS qualifiers, and, like, there's a bunch of stuff coming up this week that we may or may not do. Olimoleague is the last, like, official thing we have 100% locked into our schedule for. You may see us pop on for some of the WCS stuff if we're able to, but I don't know. Not today for sure. We're both... Zombie Grub's been running back-to-back-to-back stuff, and I didn't sleep well because I was doing map intros late last night, so we're definitely not doing anything else today. But maybe tomorrow. The next big thing we have planned for, though, like to mark on your calendars, guys, is on the 20th. 20th is actually going to be kind of a cool double day of casting. Not for us, but for you guys, the fans. Because bright and early in the morning, we got a 2v2 tournament happening with the Koreans on the Korean server. Anyone's welcome to join, but it's going to be on the Korean server. And then later that same evening, Colonial Wars with the North American, aka US-Canada qualifiers will be happening. And that'll be with Maynard and Zeph, but still here on BaseTradeTV. So that'll be some good old StarCraft for a Sunday if you guys got nothing to do that day. But thank you again for watching today. Big shout out to the people who hit us up with those Prime subs. That was a really cool chain of events to happen. Messin is like the MVP of the day, though. 15,000 bits is a lot of bits, man. Gratitudes. But be sure to check out our sponsors, guys. Corsair down below, and of course Twitch on the side. Consider subscribing if you like what you see. It keeps us going. It gives us the ability to keep casting this stuff all the time, always. If you want to follow me on Twitter at riff_kings, I'd appreciate it. But if you want to follow BaseTradeTV for updates, that's the better place to go, because I like to shitpost dumb things a lot. So, you know. Zombie Grub, pass it off to you before we take off.
Follow me on Twitter at CG Gaming, on Twitch, Zombie Grub, and YouTube, Zombie Grub. Be streaming once I'm not sick, and these past 2 days are just a lot of casting, so.
Totally understandable, man.
Thank you.
Well, people really want to see the StarCraft Remastered campaign, so I'm going to not restart the stream or anything. I'm just going to go to commercial break and get it booted up, and we'll see how bad this is. But it should look really pretty. So, thanks again for joining me, Zombie Grub, and have a good day, dude.